Just watching a video from Turbo Cobra. Nice to see him back on there. Okay, a lot of these lower oil rings are segmented. There's no up and top and bottom on the rings, if I can say what I'm trying to say. But avoid, because these are like a spring steel sort of ring, rather than the top compression rings are like a cast iron ring, or they are in these old cars anyway. The proper way to put these in is to sit it in the hole, sit the end in the actual groove, and feed it in so it looks like a spring as it's going in. Also taking care not to gouge the side. You have a spring spacer that sits between it. It's corrugated, same thing with that, and sit it in the groove. Make sure you go above it.
So we'll be making some videos and we'll start hearing this.
Just feed it in.
I'm going to take a lot of it, you know, like the brain and
I'll tell you what, I've only just started wearing these sort of gloves, and I can't get on with them. Especially when I'm certainly not for fitting rings, so you've got to come off, it's alright. Sure there'll be some people that are into health and safety and all the rest of it, but I can't get on with them. I'm not going to do this, something like this.
Take outside, it's nice weather here these days. I'll work on it outside. And the garage door closed for any serious cutting or grinding.
Give them a little shuffle to make sure they're all lined in. Now you've got 3 gaps now to sort out on that one ring landing, so just set them all so they're opposite each other. I do. See, I've got them like that. You can see that all the. Hopefully you can see that if my head's not in the way. There's all the grooves are lined up. We definitely don't want that because you're just going to let oil through. So swing him right around out the way so he's on the other side. We've got 3, so we'll have to do it in thirds.
Alright, got a little work done. Seems like tearing something like this down would be pretty.
This one out there out the way.
With the rest of the bolts
and then bring that round, so we shouldn't have any gaps in that ring set at all. And also try and avoid having any of the ring gaps above the gudgeon pin. Okay, so that's that one. Now these are what's called cut rings, where you would normally have a solid ring. These ones are cut rings, and they basically taper as you put them in. If they've put them in the package in the right place, they'll cut the right way, but just trying to see if I can see a cup in them now, but there's a slight cut.
Hacked off. I really don't know what it was. I got to do some research, but there was some kind of bracket, you know, that went from here to here, and you can see it's got either broken off or somebody just kind of ripped it before it out there. So we'll find out if those need to be back on there or some kind of structural.
So that's my 3rd groove ring.
If not, we'll just patch those holes up and we'll body work on them. We've got this steering.
That's when I thought all that red paint had gone.
This is an old
Still some escaping red paint.
This neck here, but I guess it got broke or something.
Despite being cleaned with a bloody high pressure washer, it's still got in there.
Get that fixed. We'll take the seat off and we're going to have it recovered and go ahead and get that little. So
At this point my dad would have said I'm like a ball with a musket.
other stuff on this we can do. So that's about it. We'll show you more later on as we make progress.
Okay, grooves opposite. Correct way up. Next one. Another type of rings where you've where they're all solid single rings, you have there are a nice little set of pliers you can buy that that open up the piston ring. They should just happen to have good strong nails. Mine have thick nails, so I'm alright. And this is the one to be really careful with, because this one's quite a fragile ring. We've got our top, we need to put it in the right way. So get your nails in there. Don't spring it out too far as they snap. Okay, so we're all set. Rings are in place. Need to make sure they're set so they're not A, they're not above the gudgeon pin, and B, not above each other. The gaps I'm talking about. So I'm moving around so they're all lined up in different places. Same procedure with the shell. The way I like to do it: introduce it into the groove first, locating slot, push it home. No oil, no grease on the back. Okay, I know which way they got to go around because I've got I'm stamped on the end, so we're okay. Right, so my rings are on. Next bit, this is where it gets really tricky. I'll get it set up in my voice. Now I've got my rings on, I think I'll go for some gloves. Because the next bit's a bit messy. There's lots of different types of ring compressors, but I'm an old-fashioned sort of bloke, so I've got an old-fashioned type of ring compressor. We're basically looking for a reasonably good make one. You may or may not be able to see that on the edge there's a swaged out part. That's the bit that's going to go over the sides of the cylinder, so you're not trying to feed the compressor in with the piston, you know, when you're pushing it in. Now, this is the messy bit, but it's got to be done, well, in my opinion. Again, clean oil. Oil the granny out of it. I must admit I prefer the piston ring compressors that have got a square at both ends where the key fits. This one's only got one end. I prefer them that where they'll compress both ends, but basically it's spring steel. Release it, and none of the hands are oily, so everything's sticky. You release it and let it go under a controlled way, it'll come out. So you can see you can then go much larger. I'm going to change the position so I can get to this is why I don't like this type of this one, because it's got only got one place where you can put the key in, but we will overcome. So the piston's going to go in con rod first, so I need my my swage parts in the bottom. Make sure it feeds round nicely. I don't want to change the setting of where my rings were, so once you've got it taking the tension, avoid turning it on the piston because you'll move the piston rings with it. It does need to be nice and tight because you don't want the little buggers popping out, which is basically what happened, I believe, when they were putting it in last time. Right, pretty tight on there. Just move you over so you can see this bit. Most of this is going to fall off as I put it in, but there's some oil on it. We've got oh, sorry, got front written on the piston just there, so front of the engine, firewall fits here. I've checked that the clamp is clamped up pretty well around there because I don't want any of them little buggers popping out. Got my crankshaft, my journal well out the way so I'm not going to be fouling, and I've got a soft clean hammer handle to knock them in with. Right, so I've got my piston set where it should be. Soft handle, gentle. Keep the pressure down on the piston ring clamp. If any pop out too early, you generally can hear it. There's nothing left behind on the top. That's it, number one piston in. Right, number one's in. And flip it over. Shouldn't fall out. Take the tape off the journal, the big end. Darren's spraying carpets in the background.
Stay off the plastic brush though. You hit the plastic with a brush, of course it puts brush strokes in it and then it looks like doo-doo. So you want to hit anywhere, you hit your mat or whatever, just don't hit that with the brush. There we go.
Bit premature on the oil then.
Get between the seats here, and we're working our way out of here.
Carefully draw the
This doesn't take long
conrod
to
up
do.
towards the shaft, towards the
Got a little used car.
towards the journal. Try not to catch anything on the way up.
It's much easier to paint
Pop it up.
carpets than it is to replace them.
Check my stamps, so I get it run the right way. Pop it together. Clean bolts. Nice sorted out tab washer.
Blend that in.
Little torque journal drill. Pinch it up. These are 35 foot-pound torque.
You're wearing your ass for this. 'Cause it's
I've got £5 to put on top for my oily bolts. So that takes me up to £40. And my conversion to
I don't know if you're getting that or not. Probably not.
Newton meters.
Anyway, that's how you do it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this other side.
Let's find a straight number.
There you go, it's just spray, spray, spray. Some of the dirties you gotta hit twice.
54.2 Newton meters. Four. Start again. So 42, 52, half. Right. 9/16.
Now, doesn't look like anybody died in here. And, yeah, looks better. Mucho better.
They're horrible little shallow bolts on these. My socket is a bit old and knackered. So I think I'll swap it out for a better socket. Try again. Better. Okay. Same as before. Make sure it still turns. Which it does. There we go. It's almost flush. Do a bit of decking on this engine really. You want the high performance. Okay, same process with all the others.